because when I project fear, guilt, and shame out of my heart, the universe mirrors that back to me in my own body through disease, cancer, all mental illness, anxiety, depression, migraines, hair loss, cortisol, a huge belly, overweight, premature aging, inability to get pregnant. Because my body is sitting in fear, guilt, and shame. So why would my body produce health when the nervous system is screaming, help, help, I'm in danger, I'm in danger. But this is the healing process. When you're born into a traumatic childhood, because your soul planned that for you, and we can get into we'll get in a minute, but our souls plan our lives based on our wounds for self-improvement opportunities, because you have to surrender to the wound before you can climb with the wisdom. If you're going to climb Mount Everest, you got to surrender to the training before you climb, right? It just is what it motherfucking is. And I wish it were different, but it is what it is. And I had to accept it. So I'm being as clear as day. The sooner you accept that, the easier your life will become. Accepting reality is a helpful thing. So anyway, when we accept that we're projecting our reality and that it's mirrored back to us, like when I see selfishness, when I perceive selfishness in someone else, that is my soul showing me the selfishness inside myself. This is where the change comes from, right? So when it used to be, it wasn't acceptable to yell at each other in public. That took a lot of self-control, a lot of self-work. But how do we have time? Like, how did I have time as a mother working full time with 3 kids, one with mild autism, I was divorced, to also engage in enough self-care not to berate people in public? Well, I didn't. But my outside told me something different than what my inside was telling me. The outside, get a degree, work for yourself, you don't need a man. Which is kind of completely against, like, how do I stay in my right brain, my feminine, and be hormonally balanced when I have to be my left brain all day long, getting a college degree and working a job? So when we accept that we have to change the inside to change our outside. Like if I wanted, I became hormonally balanced because I started spending more and more time in my right brain, forgiveness, compassion, nurturing, creativity, intuition, which is feminine. So it makes sense. It's like basics. It's 1 + 1 = 2. But we've lost that 1 + 1 = 2. So, I encourage you to think about, is having free buses and taxing the rich really going to bring internal sovereignty over whether we love ourselves or not? Or is that also an external solution to an internal problem, When we love ourselves, and I love myself, I'm a mom. I want to stay home and take care of my kids. And I always knew I was always happier and a better person doing that, but I didn't have money for it. And men, they're physiologically designed to work. Let's accept who we are as women and men and move forward. But the internal work is where we will find ourselves. How can I create a heavenly relationship with my man when my heart is constantly screaming fear, guilt, and shame? It's just impossible. It's impossible. Let's stop pretending that the external world is the problem. There's so much scientific data now. I just showed you Dr. Bruce Lipton. Ask Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Gabor Mate. What changes things? And so what changes things is when we change our energy bodies, because the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. So when I change my energy body and I vibrate so high because I'm in and out of enlightenment all the time, I naturally help other people. Okay? And there's a 5 metrodome experiment that I'll show you. Let me bring up show you why this is true. It's like, there's the saying, you're the summary of the 5 people you hang around the most. That's the wisdom. What's the knowledge is the 5 metrodome experiment, where there's 2 metrodomes going super fast and the other one's kind of slow. And within a minute, they're all going super fast. I'll show you in a second when we get there to that lesson. Because we're energy bodies, we can rely on the laws of physics. And that, I think, helps everybody understand that when we all learn to operate our souls, we learn to turn our wounds into wisdom, we learn to manage our subconscious and recalibrate our nervous systems to resonate with love, compassion, and enlightenment instead of fear, guilt, and shame, then we're going to make progress together. Because then naturally, the femininity comes out of women and the masculinity comes out of men. And we create healthy families and then healthy communities. But when our cups of love at the top are all filled with shame, guilt, and fear, we're pouring that out everywhere. And we see the opposite in society where everyone's afraid of authority because they haven't processed their emotional wounds. But there's the mental illness. Their fear is projected onto reality, and then they perceive that reality to be true for everyone, and it's not. That's the mental illness. And that's what we see in progressives.